Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm Gaz, and if you've got a problem, no one else can help, and if you can find him, then maybe you can call on Taylor.
Team. Oh,
the Taylor team.
Oh, yes. The Taylor team, yeah.
How's it going, man? Mr. Taylor team.
Yeah, well, I've been ill. Well, you know.
I've been ill as well. So I apologise if I struggle to talk. I could hardly get my words out a second ago. But yeah, we're going to do our best.
I know
it's a bit late this week, and I've put a few things up on Twitter, and everyone's been a bit, dead kind of supportive. So
good. Yeah, generous of them.
Just had a bit of lurgy. But, we're not going to let that stop us. No, we're here. A bit late, but better late than never.
Yeah.
So,
we'll always be back.
And kind of ties into our theme this week. Anyway, we went missing.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that.
Wondering where we were.
Yeah.
And all along, it was kind of part of the big plan. Potentially, and it wasn't. We were dying.
Yeah, we were.
So, other than that, have you anything interesting? I've just had loads of time to catch up on news and stuff recently, the last couple of days.
I've been even too ill to do that, to be honest.
Have you? Well, no, it was a couple of days, but then, just chilling in bed, I managed to kind of catch a few stories.
Nah, my mind was a bit fucked, proper fucked, I couldn't concentrate on anything. I've had to, I had to do stuff like 3 times, check it 3 times, so I knew I was doing it right.
No, I had to go to the bank. And I was struggling.
Yeah,
I was just struggling with walking to the bank, and I was all over the place.
Quite a lot of people.
And I got home and I was just back in bed straight away.
Yeah, it's a proper bad flu, I think. I think it was the flu.
We're trying not to cough and splutter too much.
No. Yeah.
And again, apologies for the raspiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, has anything been happening in the old newsaroonie this week that you have seen?
I have seen, yes. In fact, actually, we're lucky, possibly one of the lucky ones to be on tonight.
Why? What's the crack?
Because...
you mean in the old conspiracy game?
No, this is actually right, bang on the money, because over the last 48 hours, my last number was 800 sites were taken down from Facebook and all other places right off the net.
We talked about Alex Jones getting taken down quite a few weeks ago.
Well, he was the tip of the iceberg.
Well, this is what I said had happened, because you can't silence. You silence one person, it's right to silence everybody. And what happened to this, freedom of speech that everyone goes on about?
There's no such thing. Only if you're in a room with people who are actually open-minded.
Yeah, well, that's true as well, yeah.
So, basically what happened was there was a warning which I suppose a lot of people didn't hear about, which was that the company ICANN, who actually run the internet, because it's basically like...
Yeah, I heard that there was
the big server.
Yeah, but as I understand the internet, it's not just one big server, it's all servers running to it's
put it this
my
way.
Server. This is how the internet started. You send information to my server, and then I can send information to yours.
Yeah.
It's like they're all connected, but only by a signal.
This is the way I told my brother how it works. Basically, the internet, every information that you've got on the internet now, right, is like the yellow pages. If you don't know what the yellow pages is,
you millennials. Yeah, God. Get it.
Basically, it's a big
read a book.
You can still get it. You can still get it.
They do still come. I get the Thompson Local.
Yeah, well, it's basically the same thing.
It is literally letterbox size now.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't think I ever take it out of the shrink wrap.
Yeah, no, I
had a stack of them.
You never needed to use them except for to throw them at the postman or something, or the dog.
I just don't get. They're just trying to keep their hand in, aren't they? By the sound of it. It's like, what have we got for the yellow pages this year?
A bicycle.
Nobody wants to pay for the advertisement space in the yellow pages.
Yeah, you have to pay quite a bit.
And you can put a website up.
Yeah. Well, you can now.
Yeah, it probably costs about as much for a domain name nowadays to stick your own website up.
I think it'd be cheaper, actually.
Probably would be, to be honest, in terms of a yearly printing in the Yellow Pages. Well, anyway, yeah. So.
Well, yeah, basically, so it's like the Yellow Pages, what we're into now. But then you've got the dark web. Then you've got the deep web.
Yeah,
so
but how can they?
It's a book within a massive room that actually you can go into anyway. It's just you're going to find it hard to get stuff.
I don't understand how they can close down like the dark web.
Well, they can't close it off.
If they could control the dark web in that respect, then they would have closed it down years ago. In terms of all this kind of like this stuff that goes on behind the scenes, like paedophilia and fucking drug dealing and hitmen and all the rest of it. It's like, well, why don't they just go, oh, this dark web's attracting too much negative attention, we should close it down, and press the button to close that aspect of the internet down if they've got that much control.
Because if you close that, well, it's the same aspect that it's all free because it's all been given for free.
Yeah, but it's just too spread out. The internet's like you were saying about it being like not sentient, but it's so kind of everywhere and nowhere.
It's so massive. We're like on, as in the internet as we're on now. We're on like 0.1%.
Yeah, we're just on the surface.
Yeah,
that's
we're
what they call it,
literally on
don't they? The surface net.
And it could go wild, but like well, basically, the ICANN group said over the weekend that had just gone that the global internet may have gone down.
Right. Well, it didn't go down for me.
It didn't, no. They did also say that 99.9% of it won't be an issue with it.
Right.
But as soon as they started messing around with that, that's when all these issues of like right side groups were being taken down.
Yeah, because I did see that a lot of kind of, you mean like left field, like.
Yeah, well, what they're saying is right.
Well,
the right field, but it's not.
Well,
anyone who had conspiracy theory or evidence on the fucking.
It depends on your perspective, I suppose. Because if you're, I consider myself a bit left field. Yeah. Right. I'm not conventional in the slightest. Right. Whereas, that's why you get right wing. You know what I mean? A right-wing person is quite a liberal person, is that right? Yeah, liberal.
I think so. Well, the way
sorry, but
it's the other way around.
The other way around, not liberal.
Right-wing.
Yeah, right-wing.
Like you're talking like Nazis.
Sorry, that's right-wing's like you kind of you
hard nuts.
Yeah, you politicians. A lot of politicians, but like your left field. Is more like.
But then everyone's got their own different field, so I don't really categorise it as I'm left or right, because my view is, look, I want my sovereignty, so I'm free. I can do what I want reasonably around.
What you're getting at is you want your cake and eat it.
I want my cake, and I don't want some fucker walk up to me and go,
well, that's what I'm saying.
I've just taken that.
It's like, for those policies to go through, you need a politician to implement them. Right?
No.
So you've got to still rely on.
I don't have to abide by them.
You've still got to rely on
under
that.
common law. I don't have to abide by them.
I know you don't have to abide by them, but you still have to rely on them to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But it doesn't mean I agree with it.
No. All right then.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree on certain things, and I disagree on other things. But then maybe in a couple of years' time, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
It's all basically on our experience as we're going along.
You see, on this type of topic, then it's like they're all as bad as each other.
Yeah.
So it's
no one's right. Yeah. No one's wrong. Everyone's an individual.
Yeah, totally.
So you should choose them and put them as an individual.
So they basically turned around and said they've started taking down like websites and podcasts and stuff that are related to what they consider fake news.
What
misinformation and stuff like that, but they consider like alien abduction sites fake news, and they
also
like that.
Conspiracy that it's so they can switch it off.
Right.
So they can switch off like that, because the reason why is because over the last week in America they've had what they've called the President's Alert. So if anything goes off, he can alert everybody in the country.
Oh, right, yeah.
But what they didn't realise...
Doesn't he do that every morning when he wakes up and does a tweet?
Obama did one. And there's been loads of test alerts lately in cities, and Black Hawks have been seen around, Black Hawk helicopters. But they reckon that this is possibly something to stop something from going on if it needed to be, and then the alert had come forward. But they didn't realise, people didn't realise in America, or still probably don't realise, that they had a ping afterwards.
Ah, right.
Now that ping means everything on their phone has just been copied and sent to the
So basically,
National
it
Security
sent a signal which transmitted everyone's data back
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
they reckon that could be.
so they basically
a part of it.
some CIA fucking psyops type thing.
Well, no,
where
I
they
don't think he's CIA because he's considered CIA is the bad guys against the government because they're the cabal. You know the group that they call the cabal. That's supposedly the CIA. Now, Trump's got the NSA.
Yeah.
He's got control, and he's getting control of. He's got control of the FBI as well now as well. So everything's going right on that part, but they've still got to get rid of like the dickheads in the CIA and the cabal and
well, like the
all these other
CIA
groups.
is kind of notoriously dodgy.
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
what
how can you sell drugs
Well,
around the world for
well, the
fucking
thing
years
is,
and
it's like,
not anyone get done for
Didn't
it?
he sack the head of the CIA, Trump?
Sack him, he should have been undrug
and quartered. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just killed a shitload of people. He's made a lot of people poor. He's made a lot of dickheads rich. You know what I mean? So yeah, fucking damn right. He should be having his bollocks chopped off.
So
or
what's
ripped
the
out by a fucking dog.
So what?
Yeah, well, that's what they used to do in the Nazis used to do with Jewish people. If you're female, if they thought you had something, you usually took it. Yes, in
right,
in
you
a
mean-
fifi, yeah.
What he's getting
Yeah.
at there is he's
And
stashing
the way
in
they-
a covert place. Yeah.
And the way they got the Germans got into there was they set a
Oh,
gun
right, to see if there was
to
get
rip.
a scent.
Yeah, no, to rip.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I know, it's nasty shit, man. Yeah,
Goddamn Nazis.
but it's true, man. It's
Yeah.
a true story.
So
Nazis
in
were
terms
bastards.
of like this taking down of websites, what do you reckon what's the result?
I reckon this is just
the
like
beginning of the end type.
no,
thing.
I think just
Well,
before.
no, I mean in terms of like what it's basically nannyism again, isn't it? It's basically telling us what we can and can't view.
Yeah.
And what we taking away
Yeah.
an alternative news source so
Yeah.
the general public can
Maybe true.
make an informed decision about things and an
Yeah,
informed
exactly.
opinion about things.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. They don't want to just look at the mainstream media and look at what's going on Sky News and BBC News or CNN or whatever these, Fox News.
Yeah.
They want to be able to go, right, well, I've seen what Fox News, seen what BBC have to say about it. Let's go and see what these alternate news sources are saying about it, and I'll
Yeah.
make my own mind up based on the knowledge available.
Facts.
Yeah, right.
The facts that I know
So
and
by
seen evidence
taking
in
these sites down, all they're doing is kind of
They're putting them basically into the deep net. Now
they're making-
now
they're
people
making
are gonna be going in deep net
people's,
and then getting in trouble with other shit.
first
Which is-
account of these news stories, the only account of the news story. So they basically monopolise the news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not right.
yeah, no, it's not, and it like.
Well, hopefully we'll never get taken down. I don't,
Well, we shouldn't be. We're only telling the truth of what we're hearing, and
just
like
just
it's
our
our
opinion, isn't it? Really? Yeah. So
that's it.
yeah, I've got a piece of news here from NASA.
Oh,
This is a weird one. This one, right?
yeah.
Right. A probe was sent up back in 2006.
Yeah.
Right. No, I tell a lie. It was sent up in
Don't be telling me lies,
2003. Right. Sorry, I got my facts mixed up there. It was sent up in 2003.
yeah,
It orbited the moon 3 times.
right.
Right, for 3 years, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting all my info mixed up here. Right, so it's orbited the moon for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right, and then it crashed on the moon.
Right, yeah, I
Right.
remember it. I remember the actual
Now,
instant.
this crash was
Deliberately.
observable. No, I don't think it was. I think it was malfunction because, but like basically, like they're saying that this explosion of the probe
Yeah.
was visible from Earth by astronomers, by like what are they called now?
Observatories.
Part-time astronomers. Do you know
Oh,
your
yeah.
average guy who's got a telescope?
Public astronomers.
Yeah. So like so what's happened is now NASA have turned around and said 12 years later they've received images from the probe.
Fuck off.
Now
bollocks! How the fuck can you do that if it's destroyed?
Right, I can't get my head around it, right? Because there's only two ways they're gonna have got those images, right?
Yeah.
They would have had to go and recover them themselves by actually physically going to the moon, right? Getting the SD card out, the little device there, taking it home, right? Or
easily
the probe has switched itself back on, beamed these images back to NASA, right? It exploded, it crashed.
Now let me tell you, I reckon they're going to turn around and say it's the second one where it gives the information, but because it bounced into, like, I don't know, fucking Venus, and then bounced out of the universe, then come back in again, and fucking went up God's ass, come back out, come back, and it took 12 years.
It did. That's exactly what I was thinking, to be honest.
That's the bullshit that they're going to come out with.
The word we were looking for earlier was amateur.
Yeah. That was it.
I knew.
You mean like NASA is?
Yeah, basically.
On the information.
So, what do you think about it? I mean, like I say, the flash was visible from Earth. You know, these amateur astronomers seeing this thing impact, right? Now, as well, I was watching a documentary about the moon, right? And they were saying about how the surface
made of cheese,
right? Not strictly true, right? But what they were saying is, do you know how many big impact craters there are on the moon? There's quite a lot. They're visible from Earth. You can see them, like, you know, you get the man on the moon, the face. We see a face in terms of like the dark spots, and you can see a lot of craters. Now, what they're saying is those craters are too wide, right? So, like, say these really quite, like, say 20-mile long craters. Now, they suspect if an asteroid would have impacted the moon, it would have left a crater a lot deeper than it does. All these. They're all quite shallow.
The depths are roughly the same.
Yeah, they're virtually roughly the same, but basically they're a lot shallower than they should be.
Yeah, but you could say that about Earth because you can only go 12 miles down. Russia did it in the 70s. They did it up to 90s, and they could only get 12 miles down. Couldn't get any further down, so they left it, and now they're trying it again, and they just can't get through.
Look at the Grand Canyon. That they reckon the Grand Canyon was an impact crater, like, possible. And that's a lot deeper than 12 miles. Would you think?
Well, no, from like as the basis of the surface, as if it was as one.
It kind of made sense to me. Well, what they were trying to get at was the moon was hollow
because it's the furthest step that
the moon dust was just that. It was dust, and it was covering a metallic sphere. Yeah. Right. So, you know. Going on about like how the moon's probably colonised on the dark side, and I think we were talking about this, weren't we? Who was we talking about how like the moon, we only ever see one side of it, and like. And it wasn't there. Well, it's a tidal anchor, isn't it? It's a tidal. We're in a tidal orbit, right? But there's so much to it. Do you know what? We could go into this another day, actually.
I think it's a metre every year or something. It goes away from us.
Oh, it's quite. But saying that though, it's quite a lot lighter. So you know, so how it could have got caught in our orbit. It's quite. They reckon that it's impossible, but there's a lot of mathematical facts that go with the moon and the sun and the distances that are quite a trillion to one sort of thing.
That's all I've got to say for that one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The last time he come round, he did a bit of, you know, pushing and shoving.
Yeah, probably.
Could have been one of their moves.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, and it just happened to get caught into it.
Well, I've got some space news as well.
Oh, go for it, man.
There's a lot of it as well. Right, well, this week we've had, last week, sorry, we had the space shuttle that went up and didn't work properly. They had to come down. There was an incident.
Oh, is this the more sabotage?
I'm thinking,
right,
because there's not only that, unless it's a bit weird at the minute to do with space, because did you see the footage, the wide view footage of SpaceX's rocket go up, Falcon?
Yes.
Did you see that bit underneath catching that parcel?
No, I didn't.
Well, as it blasted off, it went to as it's doing the plume, the big fucking plume.
Yeah, big. Jet of
whatever.
Getting rid of all of its petrol.
Yeah, so you see an object fall back. Trying to fall back to Earth. But I don't know about, I'd say about what, a mile, something like that, half a mile along. It's like a light, like there's planes around, and it's sort of like a plane, but there was a flash, and it sped up fast. Not like spaceshipy fast. I'd say like a jet,
right,
possibly, and caught this parcel. That's all over the net in a minute.
What? So it jettisoned something.
It looks like something was ejected from Falcon,
right?
And this object, craft, had gone by as it's coming down and picked it up.
Interesting.
You want to have a look at the footage?
Yeah, well, I'll have another look
is.
at that because I never noticed, and that just sounds to me like some Cuban drug deal.
Yeah, summer's going, right? You know what I mean?
It's like we'll send it up with the rocket.
But that's not all either, because you've got Hubble's closed down, shut down. It's gone into safety mode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everything's going into safety mode.
You've got rovers stopping communications.
Yes, turning them off. Yeah.
You've got other satellites. Even a couple of weeks ago, there's a satellite that actually goes.
Yeah, I have heard there's been
outside.
a lot. It's like I think I seen something on it on the internet. Well, I think it was Secure Team, and they were saying how they're stopping us from going to space.
Yeah. You want to have a look at Secure Team. Tyler's good, man. You got to check his stuff out on that.
Yeah, so it is weird though that they've been having a lot of trouble, yet they can still get photographs from 12 years ago. I don't get it.
Yeah, are we going back in time or something?
I'm not sure. I think it's like
timeline
I think they've literally just had because they've got all those bases on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah,
they literally just sent a guy over, didn't they, to get the SD card out of it.
He's got like, give us a rover, then I'll drive around there.
I'll drive over. Fucking hell! Stop crashing probes, you dickheads. Yeah, well, I've got one more piece of NASA news myself.
Ooh, right.
This is an alien base has been actually found on the moon, they reckon. And this is using the Google Moon tool, which is now available. You've heard of Google Earth. You can now go on explore the moon using the Google software.
Yes.
Free to download.
But has it been tampered with? That's what
Well, you never know, and there's always going to be like,
they're always going to miss
through
massive
filters,
bits out
they?
and put
like someone's got to kind of vet it all. They're not going to have like a monument. But saying that, there's been a lot of like little monuments found, like obelisks and stuff like that. So,
that's true.
this one is a strange structure that looks artificial, and it's been spotted on the moon. Leading conspiracy theorists to believe that it's an established lunar base.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, photographic evidence.
It kind of looks like a big hill. Like that's all it looks to me. But
like
it
a dome.
Yeah, kind of, but a bit more like a mound. Do you know, like if you were to kind of pile, just like an anthill, but it's just a kind of like a bit of a spike in the image, and it's weird, but. A lot of conspiracy theorists are saying that it's looks artificial and it's casting a shadow.
Yeah, but if you look at the old Russian images and that, you can see like towers and stuff like that. So there's got to be some kind of structuring going on there that we're not like noticing. That we ain't even compensated. That could be another reason. Yeah, we haven't mathematically compensated all the stuff that you could have fucking
like I said, there's been so much maths done on the planets and the moon and the distances and everything like that. It's weird to think.
Well, look at the stuff
that we wouldn't have calculated any of this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what there was statistics on. When the I think it was NASA who was landing on a meteorite to just have a look at it, and it crashed, and it still worked. That was like
Ben Affleck was shit in that film. Was that Armageddon?
No.
Oh right,
no.
I thought you were talking about Armageddon.
No, a couple of years ago, I think it was.
We're gonna have to drill it, boys.
Yeah, and basically they wanted to put a probe on. To just have a little look.
Well,
and
the Japanese have just, is it the Chinese have just literally landed on a meteorite, and they're going to try and mine it, I think. So
and the mathematical terms on that, it's like throwing a fucking coin.
You've got rotation, you've got like speed, distance, all that. It's like, and then you've got to work out how much fuel you're going to burn doing it. But it's mind blowing how much goes
Mathematics
into
gets it,
all this stuff.
Does.
But I mean, they still kind of managed to do it though.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
well in, you can't really argue with
Or
that.
did they?
Yeah. Well, I believe
Never
that
trust
these
NASA.
guys have landed on the old rock on meteorite. I believe we've been on the moon. Like I say, I think we've been to the moon more than we let on, and there's not a chance we've not been in the last 50 years.
No.
Totally not working. I mean, it's not working for me.
No.
You're gonna have to come up with a new one.
Yeah.
So-
Should say a new one.
Any more?
Yeah. Have you heard about the
Got
Dead
a lot of
Sea?
news this week. What's that?
The Dead Sea.
The Dead
You
Sea.
heard what's happening at the Dead Sea?
No. Is it Is it coming to life?
Funny enough, it is.
All right, go
It
on.
is,
That was
yeah.
a stab in the dark,
Yeah, that was
wasn't
a
it?
stab in the dark. there.
Yeah, well, it was just kind of the opposite, isn't
Well,
it?
yeah.
What's
Well,
happening?
basically, the Dead Sea's like it's the 400 miles below sea level.
It's salty, isn't it? It's really, really salty.
Yeah. That's where a lot of
So there's no life.
No, you get nothing can live there. Not even microbes, really.
Well, I remember people going to the Dead
it's
Sea
the lowest
to
driest point
float,
on land.
to go and float around because
Yeah, you can float around,
float
yeah.
in the Dead Sea
Yeah.
because of the high salt content. So
Yeah.
you just literally bob about. It
Well,
looks pretty cool, actually.
You better get your passports to get over there quick because it's going.
Why? What's happening?
Right. Well, it seems to be over the last couple of years. It seems to be like drying up now.
Turning into like a salt plain.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Now, what's happening also is there seems to be sinkholes opening up. Big
Now
sinkholes.
that doesn't surprise me. There's sinkholes everywhere.
Well, that's true.
I seen another one the other week actually of some guy falling in.
This will surprise you though. In them sinkholes is coming fresh water.
Right. Okay. So it's literally an underground lake or glacier or something, and then the sinkholes fell through. That
Well,
water's-
you're getting fresh water.
Well, I suppose that water's mixing in, and it's just coming back through mixed.
Well, it will come back mixed, but then eventually the salt will go.
Yeah, it'll get
From
washed
it,
away.
yeah.
But like I say, in order it to go, if it's gone down a sinkhole, water travels down naturally. So that salt water from the Dead Sea would have gone down the sinkhole, mixed with the fresh water till it flooded, and then came up, and then over time, it's become more fresh water then.
Yeah. Well, it's mentioned in the Bible. It's mentioned that what was it? A guy walks up to the water and something about.
It was
There'd be death. Nothing will ever live here.
right. Okay.
And every year he kept walking back, and it kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper until he was swimming in it. And it was said that if it ever turned back, that life was there, that there'd be a big change or something. And it was like.
So we're expecting.
I'm not a Bible basher. I'm not in the Bible.
But a lot of
you've got to look into the history of what their interpretation for certain things say.
Well, again, I think the Bible is
it gives clues.
No,
to
but I
certain
think
things.
people put too much faith in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like me talking about the Idiot's Guide to whatever, right?
It's a
now somebody has gone, right, how can I dumb down this information for people to ingest in more easily, right?
Yeah.
So I'll write an Idiot's Guide.
Yeah, but
right?
hold on,
now,
but they don't put all of it in, they only put a few parts in.
Well that's it, they don't put all it in because they want to give you a basic understanding. That's not an advanced understanding, it's a basic.
But you should have 2 books then for the basic understanding of everything.
Yeah, and then
Kiddies, your first
there's a lot of scriptures and a lot of Bible stuff that isn't in the Bible if you go out and look for it.
Yeah.
Like, advanced sort of RE. Yeah, right? I think I had a mate who did a degree in RE, and I said, what are you going to do with that? He said, the only job you can get is teaching RE. Do you know what I mean? Or Indiana Jones, right? So, so what I'm getting at is, like, in terms of where are we going with this now?
Well, I'm just saying that you've got.
I lost my trail of thought there.
You got to look at like the stories that have come from the past, and you don't read them as what they are, but read them as a code. There's codes that there's things there that
those stories
you're not looking at.
Were around before they were written down.
Yeah,
So,
well, I will like cave paintings and stuff like that.
That's
People,
what I mean.
And
Well, they say
that's
a
why you
lot of
see,
these
like,
stories
UFOs
we were
and
talking
aliens and
about
stuff.
in terms of like
Monsters.
the stories of like like how the Jesus story and how there's another story which predates it.
Yeah,
that's,
2,000
about the
years
stars
younger,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, right? So that's what I'm getting at.
In Egypt,
right?
yeah.
So I mean,
And then the Sumerians, that's where that originally all come from, all religion, apparently.
so how long do they reckon for the Dead Sea is totally
I don't know, I think
livable?
I don't know.
You know, like we're gonna see fish and
They're
plant
starting
life
to
and,
actually, there is
aqua
living
life.
organisms in there. Small, minute, like fish food. But,
Fishy stuff.
yeah, but it's the start of the process.
I don't trust the sea. Never have.
No.
Don't like it.
It's not that I don't trust the sea, I don't trust the country throwing this shit in the sea.
No, do you know what? You've got a point, because do you know one of my big phobias about going in the sea is touching the bottom with my bare feet, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't see what's down there. I've got fucking no idea. And whenever
Yeah.
I put my foot on the ground, it sounds sharp.
It
sounds sharp. It feels sharp, right?
Yeah.
I don't like putting my feet on the ground in the water, right? Don't know what it is. Something feels not right on my feet.
Okay, she's.
Oh, you hear all these stories about those little
stonefish.
Oh, anything.
Stonefish.
Anything.
Oh yeah, you don't stand on one
Any
of
of
them
that,
spike
jellyfish,
bastard, are
spiky
you?
things, swimmy things. Don't want things swimming up your reef, you.
Well,
You know
don't
what I mean?
fucking pee in the sea, then,
No,
you dirty
I
cunt.
don't
That's
pee
what
in
the
the
fish
sea.
are there for.
Oh, you just hear all this
Yeah.
crap about sharks and stingrays and
Yeah, but then you're only frightening yourself.
blue
aren't you?
whales.
You're only feeling yourself.
Actually, there was a story in the news this week about a woman who called the police because a whale came too close to a boat.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so she called 911.
You know what? I'd bill her.
I
I'd
would
bill
as
her
well.
for it.
I really would. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't go that
Wasting
far.
police time.
That I'm
your
like,
£50
I just
fine.
stood on a jellyfish.
Yeah.
Call the police.
Enough
I've been
to pay-
assaulted. Or from the Dead Sea, I'm being desalted or
Desalted.
ready salted. Right, I've got a story here. You've heard of Banksy, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
This is quality.
This is quality.
Now this is a Banksy story. So right, a Banksy painting self-destructed last week at an auction at Sotheby's in London. Sotheby's were over the moon when one of Banksy's most famous works was up for auction. When it was basically, do you know, you've heard the girl with the red balloon?
Oh
You've
yeah,
seen
one
that
of his
painting.
famous
It's one of
ones,
his
yeah,
most
yeah.
famous paintings.
Yeah, one of his first ones.
Well, it's probably one of his more well-known
Well-known
paintings.
ones, yeah,
And so obviously Sotheby's were buzzing when they
Yeah.
got to put it up for auction.
Yeah.
And it was quite an exciting event. It was good turnout. A lot of people were kind of bidding, and there was a few
Rich.
other Banksy works up.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of them
Oh, was
types
it a
of.
full like?
Yeah, I think
Banksy-
it was well, I'm not sure,
Banksy-
but
Banksy
they
Day.
definitely had this girl with a red balloon, and it was brought in by the owner. Had it authenticated.
Yeah.
He says he bought it from the artist back in 2006.
Has he got a picture?
Right? Ah, no, he's not. Right?
Why not?
But it's signed by Banksy, right? So it's been authenticated. Right after the bidding war ended,
How
and
much?
£1 million.
Oh, nice.
Right, as soon as the hammer went down,
Yeah.
the painting self-destructed.
What?
Yeah, there was something in the frame, like a shredder.
What?
Yeah, that it must have been like a remote activated thing. That as soon as the hammer went down and that painting
be
sold for £1 million,
Brewing.
then the painting came out the bottom of the frame in shreds.
I ain't paying that million.
Absolutely
Straight up, ain't
destroyed.
paying that million.
And basically,
So what did the guy say who brought it in to sell it?
like I say, he just said he bought it from the artist, and
long
I'm
ago?
gonna go out on a limb and say that guy was in on it.
Yeah, I'd
right.
say that.
The senior director of at Sotheby's, Alex Brannock, basically said, "It appears we just got Banksied." Boo. So,
do you reckon he might have been on it? Do you reckon they all might have been on it?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it was definitely a prank, or definitely a statement.
Do you reckon
to say how much his artwork's worth, and
reckon
like
he's got that
it's
million?
worth nothing. Maybe it was him who finally bid on it. Maybe
that's not a bad
he
idea,
was the guy who bought it and was able to go.
But now he's got to pay.
It's getting destroyed.
Now he's got to pay $1 million. Hammer went down, mate.
Right. Well, no, because if he maybe he owned it. Or anyway, maybe he already owned it.
No, that other guy owned it.
Well, nah, he was in on it. He was in on it.
If he was.
Maybe, because like I say, nobody knows what Banksy looks like as far as I know yet. Do you know what I mean? And people suspect that it's an art collective.
All right.
It's not
I've got
one guy.
to tell you, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm Banksy.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, Banksy's there.
I seen his
Banksy's there.
I've seen his drawings, mate. They're like stick figures.
Yeah,
You're
no,
definitely
good,
not
man.
Banksy.
What? I'm not. No.
Them scrolls you do on the toilet walls are not Banksy material.
Just because I write your number on the boys' toilet walls.
I know. Yeah, stop putting my number on the toilet walls.
Well, you will ask me to.
Any more news this week? Before we move on to entertainment news.
Yeah, actually.
Go on.
About this guy who's gone missing in Turkey.
Oh God, yeah. There's been loads over the news. Like he's a journalist, yeah. Yeah. So what's the outcome to it? Have they found him?
No, but apparently Turkey has turned around to the US government and told them we have video and audio evidence that he was murdered there. Now the Turkish and Saudi Arabian government have set up a joint force to investigate it, which is going to be a mess anyway.
Yeah. Because you never, whenever they try and join forces, they always end up butting heads, and they never end up cooperating. It's a look at the Portuguese government with the English government, English police and the Portuguese police trying to communicate in the Madeleine McCann thing.
Yeah.
Solved nothing. They just didn't want to help each other.
No, did they? Now today, left this afternoon, the Vice President of the United States went over to Saudi Arabia to discuss with the prince on what's going on, basically, on how this is getting off. Now, there's two ways this could come out. There's two outcomes of this, which is one, that he went in there and they tortured him. When they tortured him, he had a heart attack. And when he had a heart attack, they decided to move him to Saudi Arabia.
Right, so if he died there, it wasn't their problem,
Well, it's on Saudi Arabian land because it's
so he's not a diplomat dying in a foreign country.
Yeah, he's died at home. Yeah, basically. Or they've gone in there, murdered him, and taken him away.
Right.
They are basically the only two outcomes that's happened here. Now, I don't believe it's number one. Possibly they've tortured him, but I think they've probably gone too far. And
well, you never know. It's like even the fittest guys and fittest women, fucking snuff it of an heart attack when they're in the prime. You see football. There's been a couple of footballers who've just keeled over on the pitch.
But how can you, as an Israeli?
So I mean, if you're an older guy and you've not really, you're an Israeli diplomat. Let's face it, diplomats don't generally, are in the best of health. They're all probably chilling on the lavish lifestyles with a bit of gout.
Well, it weren't them. It was there was a hotel across the road from the embassy. 15 men, Saudi Arabian men were there, and these are supposed to have been linked to the actual torture and murder. Of this poor guy.
Right.
Basically. But it's still on investigating, and this could, this could be a big kick-off.
How long was he actually missing for then?
Well, his wife was outside. All he wanted to do was get married. And he needed to get a bit of paper from the embassy. So they've invited him in. So him and his wife have gone. She's waited outside. He's gone in. You film. You can see him walking in. He's gone in. That's it. The wife's outside for a couple of hours. What the fuck's going on? Blah blah. This, that, and the other. And without him knowing, the Turkish government were watching the embassy as well. So they all saw him go in, but no one, including the embassy, has got any video or any kind of.
It's amazing how all this video just disappears when they need it. It's like, what's the point in having it?
I reckon that hotel had maybe an exit to the embassy, a quick emergency
like a
exit.
tunnel, something like that.
Yeah, that's possibly what's gone wrong there. But yeah, it's ongoing. But
So ongoing, so we'll have an update on that next week, most probably. Yeah, because I've seen that quite a lot in the news feed this week. It was just like literally
this could be a kick-off. This.
That's what I was thinking, to be honest, because it's like
because they're threatening back now that if America puts these sanctions up, more sanctions than that they'll kick off.
It's a kick off every week at the moment. Yeah. They need to cool the jets, motherfuckers.
But these are spots fucking whoever, don't they?
Well, what they should do is go and chill out and watch a film.
Well,
that's what they should do.
Yeah.
And that's a nice little segue into the entertainment
news. Yeah. Oh, what entertainment we got this week?
News. Yeah, right. We've got quite a bit. It's mainly movie stuff. Venom was out this week. Last week.
Was it?
Yeah, Venom was out last week. I think it came out on about the 5th, between the 3rd and the 5th. The Venom. The film, the end of the Venom.
I haven't seen much advertisement on it.
Oh, I've seen a few. Have you not seen the advert?
No,
the trailer is quite comical because it's like I expected them to go a bit of a X-rated, like 18 certificate with it. Yeah, but they didn't. I think they've gone like PG-13 and they just wanted it to be like a 15s. Yeah, because they want the kids in, they want the teenagers to go and watch it.
Yeah, next gen.
And then it's really stupid because like the last scene in the film is literally in the trailer. So it's like, why do that?
This is what I hate about the trailers nowadays. You might as well not bother going and seeing the film because you show you having all the best bits or all the bits you really wanted to see.
Yeah, the film itself was entertaining. I've got to say that it wasn't a bad watch. Rotten Tomatoes though, right? They've give it 31%. Right, but the audience
out of 100.
Yeah, out of 100, 31% out of 100, but they've also got like a fans audience percentage as well. So what the fans say, and they've given it an 88. But if you base that on the original, Spider-Man 3, which was when like Venom was in the last film. Rotten Tomatoes there gives it 63%, whereas like fans only give it a 51. So
Oh, sorry.
Oh wait, I think I've got that bit wrong. Actually, it was 31% for Venom on Rotten Tomatoes and only 63% for the fans, and then it was 88% for original Venom and 51% for the fans. So it kind of evens out a little bit, I suppose. I think they basically get around about the same.
Well, yeah.
score.
Don't forget, you're trying to bring in a new load of customers.
Yeah, well, it was the worst Spider-Man film. So if it's getting an average score of that, then
it's a Spider-Man
it's
film.
not the greatest, is it? No. Also, Disney have dropped their list of films that they're going to be releasing over the next couple of years.
Oh right.
Basically, just expect shitloads of sequels.
Yeah.
On the cards, you got Toy Story 4, Frozen 2, Jafar 95,
fucking Jason 70,000,
Aladdin 2655. Mate, they're just making them up now, right? But so don't expect anything new out of Disney. I don't expect, apart from
Star Wars,
Avengers, and the Avengers synopsis has been leaked.
Has it?
Yeah, for the trailer. Right, but it does spoil quite a lot of stuff. They don't know if it's legit, but it does quite sound it.
Then I'm not going to watch it because
I'm not going to go
I won't be able to
into anything there. But there's a speculation on the name of the new Avengers movie, which is Avengers Assassin. What is it? Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Yeah, Avengers Annihilation.
Yeah, but they've got to finish this one off, haven't they? With
this is the what it's going to be. It's the part 2. It's going to be its
own
movie.
Done it by now.
It's their own movie now. It comes out next year.
What, the end with fucking what's his name?
Thanos.
Yeah.
The Thanos' story's over in a sense, but he will be back in the next film. Maybe I'm thinking they've got an even bigger threat this time, and it's going to be.
But they got to sort that one out first. Half of them are dead.
Well, this leads me into my next entertainment.
That's
because Spider-Man.
Put me off back then.
Oh, obviously, no spoiler alert. But if you did see the end of Avengers, you know what happened with Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Right. Spider-Man 2, Far From Home, has been given official posters. Right now, they've not leaked it.
Yeah, you're fucking with my head now because of Forrest.
Don't worry about it, right? Because at the end of the day, right, I don't look at it like this. I look at it as in the studio. What's the studio doing, right? Because
Well, no,
they're not
going to
kill off. They're not going to kill off the Black Panther, biggest grossing movie in the world ever, right?
Is it?
Yeah, right at the box office.
Beat Titanic.
Beat everything.
No.
Right? It's at the top, right? Then
Avatar.
Yeah, it smashed it. Do you want to Google it?
Shit.
Google it, right? I don't know. Black Panther absolutely smashed the box office.
Not unless you've been lying to me all this fucking time.
Spider-Man's not done all that great, but they were already announced that there's Black Panther 2's in development. Spider-Man 2 was being filmed. So it stands to reason that they're going to bring them back.
Well, yeah, but I can't believe, like you would with, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Right? They did it all, and then they cut it into 3 and 4 fucking movies.
Yeah, they did. They've
now, what they should have done with
they
the
have
last
kind
Avengers.
of. They've just finished wrapping it. They've finished filming. They've just finished reshoots. So it's all in the can now. They've done it. They've just had the finished.
So it's just a change. It's just they've now decided what the name's going to be.
Yeah, oh no, they knew what the name was going to be, but they just didn't want to tell
anyone.
anyone.
So what's this new enemy then? Who you're going to on new?
Well, this
sideline, because you got this cunt to deal with. You moved that fucker, then you needed a bit of a rest.
Well,
a beach, a couple of broads, and
I think it's too confusing to explain at the moment. So I think I'm going to leave it till a bit more closer to the time.
And I can't believe they fit you.
Well, anyway, Spider-Man. This is a clue for you, right? A clue for you here, right? The new Spider-Man film's called Far From Home. Right now, the last time we saw Spider-Man. He was far from home. He was far from home. He was on Titan, right?
He was.
And then he disappeared into dust.
He did.
Right? Now, where do you think he'll reappear when they bring where do you think that when the Avengers do the thing and it's the end of the film, they brought everyone back from wherever they was.
Yeah.
Where do you think Peter Parker's going to rematerialize? I think he's going to rematerialize on Titan where he disappeared from. Where he went missing from.
Simon Cowell's trousers.
Right? Now, if it's been an extended period of time, then he's going to be up on Titan with maybe a few other people who disappeared.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to be very far from home.
Hold on,
right?
Hold on. No. And I'll tell you why no. Because I believe that the disappearance wasn't disappearing. That was gone.
No, well, they've gone. Well, I think
they didn't exist.
No,
I took their life away.
Well, if you think about the Soul Stone, right?
Yeah.
Where Thanos so that Thanos has been transported to that place where he sees young Gamora.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wasn't killed. He threw her down off that cliff.
Because he's got the time
and now
stone.
she's trapped in the Soul Stone. That's what I think, and that's where I think they're all in that Soul Stone.
No, you know what I think's going to happen?
Well, we'll find out next year when the movie comes out.
Fucking next year, man. They should have dropped it like now. You know what I mean? Or Christmas
I'm sure
time.
We'll talk about this a lot more anyway.
Yeah,
I got my last bit of entertainment news, and it kind of goes into the main topic.
All right.
Which is tonight? Tonight's topic. I did mention it on Twitter. It's the mysterious disappearance.
So I didn't get it, mate.
Of Richey Edwards of the Manic Street Preachers.
Oh yeah, I know little bits about it.
Well, it's been like 20 years since the guy disappeared.
So leave him alone, man. He's gone missing.
Well, last bit of entertainment news. Manic Street Preachers nominated for the 2018 Welsh Music Awards.
Right.
So, well, into them, they're knocking 50 and they're still winning awards back in the home country of Wales. Oh. Well done, guys. But
congratulations, lads.
Congratulations.
Keep it going.
Well, no, I'm not. I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the more recent stuff. I think it's more pop kind of rock, and I did prefer when Richey was in the band, and I've never considered myself a super fan or anything like that. And I'll be honest with you, looking into this, I've learned a hell of a lot about the guy, right? And he's got quite an interesting personality. He's quite an intelligent guy. So, and we'll go into it. So basically, Richard James Edwards was born on the 22nd of December 1967 and disappeared on the 1st of February 1995. Richey was the fourth member of the Manic Street Preachers and a lyricist and guitarist, and was known for his dark political songwriting combined with his enigmatic character made Richey stand out from the crowd and basically give him a bit of a cult status.
Yeah, good.
Right. They come from Blackwood, in a small coal mining town in South Wales.
All right.
And one thing people don't know about Richey was, like I say, he was very intelligent.
Yeah.
Right, and he was able to, he was able to pass all of his past exams and stuff like that with very easily, and he was basically admitted into a private school very young, but he decided he didn't want to go into it.
Yeah.
Right, he wanted to stay with his mates.
Yeah.
Right, in just comprehensive. So and that's where he became.
He knew what he wanted.
Yeah, and that's where he became friends with the rest of the band during his primary school days. He was more closer to Nicky Wire, which is the bassist.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this friendship would lead Richey to meet the other lads and eventually become a part of the band. But he wasn't actually part of the band at first. He went on to become like the rhythm guitarist and vocalist.
What?
Right?
So he was just like the guy in the side.
He was actually the roadie.
Right.
Yeah. He was the roadie and van driver. Yeah. So he was friends with Nicky Wire.
Yeah.
And he was said not to be the greatest musician of all. And a lot of the times when he was on stage, he was unplugged. He was miming. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because they said he wasn't the greatest musician, but he was a very good lyricist. Right.
Yeah.
And his lyrics have basically, they say, have gone down in history as being some of the most like.
No.
Well, he got a 2-1 in a political. What was it? He got a political science degree, right, and a political history degree.
Yeah.
So we knew what he was talking about in terms of like politics, and he had a very kind of clear mantra when it came to what he wanted, and he used the historical facts in his songwriting. His kind of like philosophies came from.
From actually history and actual
history
stuff
and
that's
how he saw the world based on how it used to be in the history of it and how it was at the time back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, Richey's lyrics were still considered quite dark, but reports from people who knew him said
dark?
quite dark in terms of.
We're talking devil worshipping, like punching a gnome in the head.
No, nothing like that. I mean, he was kind of like self-destructive, right? The guy was. He was. Right. From documentaries I've watched and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I look at the guy and I think he's right. He's very clever. He knows how to publicise himself. He knows how to publicise the band. Right. He's. They've got a style. Yeah. They've got a very unique style, which kind of could be seen as offensive to some people because they were guys who dressed glam, they wore eyeliner, they wore fur coats, went out, and it was like
that in the
punk.
60s and 70s.
Yeah, it was like punk, but they never described themselves as punk. They were a cross between glam and punk, So it was like, when in a coal mining town in Wales, it was very a political statement to make, do you know what I mean? So he was kind of seen as a kind of a bit of an anarchist, I suppose, but it was very political in what he was saying is the point.
Right.
So, but nobody ever said he was like the suicidal type, So he was dark and he was kind of like bit down and depressed.
At school or
well, no, it sounds
that?
like he actually had a really good childhood, in terms of like. He was always pushed to do what he wanted.
You got him with some dodgy people.
He was friends with the lads out of the band. He wasn't, they were very similar in terms of what they wanted and what they wanted to do in the music and stuff. How do you mean dodgy?
I mean, I don't know. One of them's got a crack cocaine fucking habit. And he's got involved with someone and had an argument with someone and he's gone, fucking do ya. Done him and then gone, he's just disappeared, mate. Yeah, don't worry about your debt no more. Fuck off.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it was anything like that. But he did kind of suffer from depression. So maybe he was taking prescription drugs. But I don't think there was anything dodgy like that. And I think if they were kind of, taking drugs in that capacity, that it would show in their songwriting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I say, Nicky Wire says he's not even the most amazing musician, but it was his intelligence and his integrity and how he wanted to kind of you know, the
Portrays.
direction of the band, basically, and that's what they found important, you know, in terms of having him in
the band.
the 4-piece,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and he was kind of seen as a front man, you know, and he did get the attention from the fans because he was a pretty boy. Do you know what I mean? And he was
pretty boy.
In terms of like, he kind of modelled himself on people like Marilyn Monroe and stuff like that. You know, into, like I say, they were into all that like makeup and eyeliner and all the rest of it.
Right.
So, you know, you might look at the guy and think you're troubled, you know, because you're doing this sort of stuff. He saw it as a political statement, or it was like, nobody will tell me what to wear and how to dress and all the rest of it. But
I say that.
So, I mean, in terms of his mindset, right? He was he had an interview. He was in several interviews towards the end, around 1994.
No.
He was saying that, you know, he didn't really want the fame.
Yeah,
he just wanted to be kind of like, he wanted to make one good album, and then that'd be it. He just his perfect life would be to go and move away and live by the coast with his dogs.
Did you see this?
Yeah, I've seen all these interviews.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when he was saying it, what would you get the feel out of what he was saying?
The way I got,
was he being truthful, lying?
He was very
conniving,
no. He was very sincere. He came across as, he very heart on his sleeve. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I don't think the reporters who were interviewing felt like they must have known that he was known for this type of sort of behaviour, and that he'd be really quite open to suggestion. Like, but
see,
he seemed to just tell people things. Tell people things that, you know, that you would tell somebody in a therapist session or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't you think as well that bringing some issues you've had that you've kept for so long and brought them forward, that might have prompted him to actually go and commit suicide?
Well, yeah, but like I say, the people who knew him said that he wasn't the suicidal type. He was now it's a possibility that he was having a really low moment, and that he decided that it was all over, right?
Well, right, not necessarily commit suicide then. Just like he said, like, let me go and find a little bit of land, change my name. Yeah. Sit back and do what I want to do now. I've done my album.
Well, there was an interview I found in, it's a documentary called Close Up, and it was a BBC Two documentary from 1998. And he basically says he wasn't really happy with the fame, and he basically just wanted to leave the band. But people knew him as Richey from the Manic Street Preachers, and there's no glam in being an ex-member of the Manic Street Preachers. He wanted to leave in a blaze of glory. He wanted to be like remembered as.
Wanted to leave like Elvis.
Yeah, mate. He wanted to have like a legacy and a legend of Richey from the Manics.
Well, like, I don't think he's a legend.
Well, you don't think he's a legend, and we talked about this before we started recording. We did, I mean, it's like it all depends on your perspective. It depends on it's like somebody who's into Marilyn Manson might not turn around and say Biggie Smalls is a legend. He thinks
that's fine talk round here.
It's all about your perspective, and it's like you might not think he was a legend, but for the people who love this genre of music, and the people who were into the Manics,
but I think I'm in better position on saying if he was a legend or not, because like I like some blues players, but I never heard of him. But I know they're legends on
I totally
where they've
get
come
where you're
from.
coming from.
In no way of looking at my aspects of my.
What I'm getting at is, it's like if you look at some people like Amy Winehouse, right?
Yeah.
Now Amy Winehouse,
I've seen her on BBC.
They've got this thing in the head that it's like the 20 to 27 club or the 28 club or whatever it is, right? And it's like, well, you know, I'll kill myself while I'm at the peak of my career because I'll always be remembered, do you know what I mean, as the singer who, do you know, before they have that slope down and then nobody gives a shit about him anymore.
Yeah, but look how many artists have done that, like Elton John
hit the top, and then, there's loads. Elton John didn't kill himself at
I mean, people who reach to the top and then slumped.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
come back up, then slumped.
But these artists
enough all
believe
artists
that
do
like it's they're gonna make him a legendary figure in this niche club.
Well, we were
right?
talking before. You got to take the good with the bad.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Now I don't think that he was that type of guy. I think he wanted to leave the
but
band,
you don't know him,
right?
And a lot of them do like
and
hide
live
in there,
out
watch
his
it.
life, but have this sort of cult thing about him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it worked to an extent, because even if if he's still alive,
Yeah.
then then it's however his mind was working, that worked, right? And we'll get to that anyway.
Yeah, but
but
he didn't have to. He didn't have to do it that way.
Well, it says here in this interview he was uncomfortable with the fame, and they said it was destroying him. There was an
I'm
incident.
uncomfortable in my knickers, so shall I go and top myself?
There was incidents where he'd put out cigarettes on his arms and stuff like that.
So he's self-harmer.
He was self-harming. He was putting out cigarettes on his arms and his chest. He was suffering with anorexia and bulimia.
Oh shit!
Right, as well as depression. Right, so that type of shit is going to take a toll on your body. Right.
Didn't know about all that shit.
Right. So I mean, but again, everybody who knew him said he wasn't the suicidal type. Right. Now you can never say that, because you never going to really know a person. Right. And you don't know what happens in people's heads from one day to the next.
You don't know how much they're telling you. They might be telling you a whole lot of fucking bull, and everything that your life's supposed to be doing great ain't. Like most people hide stuff in their life.
Well, it kind of raised a lot of questions anyway in the early days of the manic, because they all kind of seen this behaviour from Richey, and they basically was saying, "You're just doing it for show, mate. It's all it's all to hype your band up. It's not, you're not for real." Yeah, right. And one of these people who did that was Steve Lamacq, right? And in 1991, they were playing a show. Steve Lamacq's come down to the show to watch him and all that.
Yeah.
And he's got a 2 minutes interview with Richey. So Richey's come off stage there, and Steve Lamacq's got him to one side, and he starts giving him the business, interviewing him. And he questioned the integrity of the band. Basically said, like, are you
doing this or what?
Yeah, what's all this about? Yeah, are you messing about? Your lyrics are political. You're saying it. You kind of like, you look the way you do.
Yeah.
You kind of, are you for real? And basically, while they're talking, he produces a razor blade from himself off his person, and Richey, and he carves for real in his own arm, right? He was pretty horrific, right? Because some of them wounds kind of gaped, there was some fucking gaping wounds on his arm. You could hardly make out what they said anyway, because you've got blood everywhere, and but this kind of just spurred on the cult sort of thingy of it, and it kind of brought along the Richey cult, where girls were copying him for a start. Young fans were copying him, doing it for real. Self-harming themselves because Richey's doing it. And not all that, they write it on marker pen and go to the gigs waving them about, right? So, like, they started this sort of cult of kind of this fucking...
To keep him alive in a sense.
No, this is while he was still alive. This happened in 1991, right? So then he went to Korea, right? And it was pretty bad over there, because all these fucking young girls were like, coming over, and this guy they were doing a press conference, and this guy's come over and thrust a knife at Richey and said, "Go on then, cut yourself." Like, trying to egg him on, because that's the guy. The guy cuts himself.
That's what he did with Osborne, not once he ripped a fucking backside.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? They want him to do it again and again and again.
Life, he's the dickhead who cuts himself. I want to see the dickhead cut himself. Yeah. So no disrespect, but
Yeah, it's a shame if it like I don't know, like most people who go missing in the UK anyway, 8 out of 10 of them out of adults have mental illness involved into it.
Well, this is it. I mean, just because.
Depression's a big one for a lot.
But would that not be
there's also
a lot
stuff
of people just want to get away from it? They don't want to.
Yeah, they want to get away from the norm.
If
and
you're a vulnerable adult, yeah, right. Now I think
you're getting no help.
People say it takes courage to do that, yeah, but I don't think it does. But it is a leap. You've got to do something and say, right, I'm going to jump off this. I'm going to cut this. You know, you've got to have a fucking an edge or a bit of bravery about you to do it.
I don't know about bravery.
Stupidity. Yeah. Well, it depends what your situation is. And I think everybody's
it's all down to the mental
right.
attitude. It's all about trying to stay positive with stuff.
Definitely.
I mean, it's hard these days, but like you've got to remember those who are around you as well. You know what I mean? Now they're going to suffer after you're gone, friends and family. So on that bit, it's like I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a lot of kind of build up to this.
Yeah.
So I mean, skipping forward to like the day of his disappearance.
Yeah. Well, I know what actually happened on that.
Well,
day.
they were staying. James Dean Bradfield and Richey were both staying at the Embassy Hotel in London.
Right.
Right. And they were supposed to be leaving for a promotional tour to the States the next day.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But when James woke up at the hotel, Richey had already checked out and left. So James was kind of left in London wondering what the hell's going on. They were due to catch a flight to the States.
Yeah. What do you know what had happened like the night before or anything like that? Any trouble?
No. There was no reports of anything amiss. Basically, he just came down the next morning, checked out. And by all accounts, he travelled back to his flat in Wales, but left his passport and a lot of his belongings in the flat, and then left again.
Yeah.
He also left a note to a mystery girl saying "I love you," but there was no other anything on there. That makes me think, but was it for a girl? Was it for just for people?
Yeah, I bet
you know what I mean? So the last song apparently they performed together was "You Love Us," yeah. So maybe it was just a response to that, back. I don't know. Say thank you to all of everyone, or is it could have just been?
Well, did he have a girlfriend, or was he just like fucking the fans?
Probably fucking the fans, to be honest. You get a rock star lifestyle.
Well,
you don't want to be tied down with a girlfriend.
But he might have fell for one, and she's gone. Nah, I've got an husband at home. Fuck off! It's one night. Leave me alone.
Well, there was no sign of him, but there was sightings by a fan who saw him at a train station. But she had no idea he was even reported missing at this point.
Right.
So she just kind of was like, "Wow, there's Richey from the Manics.
He's on his way to
wherever."
Mars.
Yeah. So he was also seen by a taxi driver who dropped him off at the Severn Bridge services.
Right.
Right. And then.
What's wrong there?
Well, the Severn Bridge.
And that's it.
That's it. Yeah, but it's a notorious suicide spot. Right.
Okay.
So, then Richey, a couple of days later, I think it was like 11 days later or something. I think it was quite a long period of time. Richey's car was found.
Why did he take a taxi if he's got a car?
Well, the car was found at the Severn services, so I've no idea if he just left the car thinking it was more of a covert way to travel. If he's gone missing, people are going to be looking for his car.
Yeah, but if you're famous, he must have been able to try and disguise himself, but the taxi driver's gone, "Hey, you ain't from that fucking band, ain't you?"
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened, and he kind of remembered him. He said basically dropped him off at the services, and then like a few days, like a week or so later, his car was found, his silver Vauxhall. And
he's on his own.
Well, no, they didn't find Richey. They basically just found the car that looked like it had been slept in for several days.
No, but from like the taxi driver and stuff like that, he was on his own.
Oh yeah, he was on his own when they dropped him off at the Severn.
Fucking sad, suicidal.
I don't think they just kind of said he kept himself to himself, but he
brought the first thing of suicidal then to the.
How do you mean?
As in, to suggest that.
He was suicidal.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone just kind of knew that he was a self-destructive guy, and then
automatically thought,
he's gone missing. It's been a period of time, and he's still not showing up. He was supposed to have obligations that he'd not met.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's Richey?
Broke down and
Well, that's what I'm saying. People who suspect he did have a breakdown, but he was drawing money out of his account.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks before he did disappear, at £200 a day, and he had quite a substantial amount of money just for a kick-off, just to get him going, do you know what I mean? So by the time he did go missing, there was a fair few quid in his pocket. So when they found the car, the police say that it looked like it had been slept in for several days. The seats were down, and there was food wrappers all in the car. Right? So, you know, for somebody who's a bit suicidal, why kind of like camp it out for that long?
Not necessarily. I'm thinking here that the possibility of, right, so he's broke himself. He needs to go away. He needs to sort himself out. So he stayed in the car for a couple of days, and someone or some people.
But usually a couple of days. If you're chilling for a couple of days and you've got like a bit of time to think about stuff.
Yeah, but you don't want to be known by any. You want to be left alone. You just want to sit there and think and try and make decisions and.
But that's why I think he's
to get to the next step.
He just wanted to bail. I don't think it was a suicide thing. I think he just wanted to bail and be on his own and not be in the band.
Yeah.
He said he just wanted to make one good album. And then leave. And then live with his dogs by the coast. Now that to me, drawing all your money out. If you were suicidal, you wouldn't be giving a shit about your money.
Might not necessarily be him that's done it.
Why would you draw out thousands of pounds if you were going to top yourself?
Well, yeah. Well, where did the money go?
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't find the money in the car. There was no reports of that. So all they found is a car where someone's been living rough.
Yeah, but like I was saying, like some couple of scroats may have come along, a couple of hard nuts and gone, hey, you know what? Hey, that's that fucking star, right? We could get some money out of him. Keep him drunk or whatever. Get his credit card, get him to go to the cash machine, get him his digit numbers, bang bang, do that for a couple of days, then get rid of the body in the sea and fuck off.
Yeah. But like Reginald Perrin. That's what, that is the theme of Reginald Perrin, isn't it? He basically he leaves his old life behind and he starts fresh. He just wants to, it was something he did, but he doesn't want to make it his life, but he doesn't want to be leaving the band as the guy the ex-guitarist from the Manics, he wants to be...
that was selfish, and it wasn't his decision to do.
Well, no, because he's left a lot of people, like, wondering and
sad
for the guy, do you know what I mean? He's quite selfish, but, we're talking about the 90s as well, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, today...
Yeah, but the 90s was a lot more fucking... less debt than what we would have nowadays, less problems than what we would have.
No, it was all just concealed debt.
It was concealed fucking
they went like that. They went, you want this? Get it on finance. We'll give you the credit. Don't worry about that. You want credit? We got credit. Yeah, you can have a credit card.
9%, boom.
Yeah, too right, mate. It was
5
like
years
everybody
later,
loved
51%.
it. Now everyone's going, why did the 90s happen? All we got was combat pants and debt. And Oasis and Tony Blair and the Millennium Dome.
Oh, what we got now? Fucking debt, war on the fucking back floor on how many sides? Fucking dickheads next door are trying to kick off with us because we want to fucking leave the party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got America like trying to sort the world out, and everyone's not listening, trying to say, oh, he's done this, that, and the other, and it's like, prove it.
So what do you think about what do you think about this? What do you think about the case of Richey Edwards?
I think to be honest, I think there's a couple of ways that it's still wide open. There could be several different ways that it disappeared.
It's been 20 years plus. It's been 21 years, I think, since the disappearance.
Well, then I think if he's been hiding, it's about bloody time. He got his ass out and gone, I'm here.
Well, look,
I'm not telling you exactly where I am.
What was we talking about? Glenn Miller. Glenn Miller was one of them guys. He was suspected dead in a plane crash, and then just showing up. Yeah. Harold Bishop from Neighbours.
Famous one.
Ended up falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
Came back as a Red Cross trombone player or something like tuba player.
Head wound. All you need is a head wound to go like he's lost his sense. He doesn't know himself, and he might never ever know himself again. But people would have gone, hey, ain't you that Richey? Ain't you that guy from?
Well, here's a couple. Well, I've got a couple of theories on it, right?
So he's dead, secluded, or
alive.
Well, if he's secluded.
Right, well, I think based on the interviews, I don't think he was suicidal. I think he just wanted to get away with it. I think he was fed up with the fame.
There is quite a big case there to say that
he really just wanted to give it up, and I suspect Richey Edwards is still around, probably living by the coast,
hopefully,
with his dogs.
Yeah, hopefully he got what he wanted.
Happy as Larry.
Yeah.
Just got what he wanted. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, so, I mean, I think it's sad though, because I mean, even though, you know, if that's the best case scenario, really, isn't it? Really. I mean, the fact was, his sister's been looking, you know.
Yeah, but it's a cheaty way of doing it.
Well, his sister, she's been looking for him. Rachel Ellis. She's been campaigning for help on Richeys and other people's missing persons cases, and she's always kind of like always knew Richey was going to grow up to be like amazing and do something with his life. And she's campaigned for over 20 years to get more information from the police, more assistance. She's had to ID,
bring to the table
she's had to ID bodies. Well, actually, she found his. Basically, she turned detective, right?
Good girl.
And she found his wash bag. Yeah. Like years later, washed up on the fucking river, right? And she had to go to Scotland Yard and try and get him to do DNA tests and stuff like that. Now, it did come off toothbrushes and stuff. It came back inconclusive. Yeah. But the fact is, she's out there doing this stuff, you know, and it's like
she shouldn't need to be doing that stuff. They should be the agency.
She's had to go in and check bodies to see if it was her brother. Do you know what I mean? So the girls, I've got to take my hand off to the girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's been a lot of you know, but in terms of like the money. And here's another little thing that makes me think that the rest of the band might know something more than they know. Because obviously they used a lot of Richey's lyrics, and they brought a new album out back in 2009.
Yeah.
Using the remainder of his left lyrics.
Yeah.
And they carried on paying 25% of royalties and income into a bank account for him for several years.
And what happened in the bank account after?
Well, it was his parents actually who had to. They kind of had to fight for probate.
Yeah.
To kind of get it released get him officially. So basically.
Because after 7 years, she's supposed to be officially. Done as dead.
Richey, if it was officially declared presumed dead on the 23rd of November 2008, 13 years after.
See.
So. Yeah, it was a pretty long time, so the parents had to obviously battle to get that dough.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just a bit of a sad story, isn't it? And obviously, we're covering it because it's a mystery, do you know what I mean? And it's British culture, it's a British guy, Welsh, you know what I mean? But he's still British, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was kind of like one of those bands that I kind of liked when I was younger, but like I never really got into them. Too intelligent for me at that time. Do you know what I mean?
I never really were into him. I mean, when the front man who is up now,
James Dean Bradfield.
Yeah.
Well, he's always been the lead singer. He was just the Richey was more the lyricist, but he was always seen as the front man because he was like, you know, quite. He was enigmatic. Yeah.
See. But it does bring up like a good issue about like missing people.
Well, yeah.
Stuff, the statistics on it as well, especially in the UK.
It's mad, isn't it? And it's like, well, I think basically if you have any information on like missing people, you can go to www.missingpeople.co.uk or they just advise contact your local police station and just give them the information and they'll pass it on.
The statistics on it are massive.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some statistics there, haven't you?
Someone is reported missing every 90 seconds in the UK. Every 90 seconds. 180,000 people are reported missing every year. There are 340 missing cases every year. Children are more likely to be the missing person than an adult. The statistic on that is ridiculous. One adult to 200 kids.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like I've got a statistic here which I just thought was mind-blowing. I think it was, what was it? It was, let me just find it. It was 340,000 people go missing in the UK every year.
Yeah.
Right?
Recorded incidences.
Recorded incidents, right? Now, the average occupancy of a city is 380,000 people. So that's basically saying a small city in England goes missing every year.
Yeah.
We're going to have nothing, no one left soon.
Oh, yeah.
How the fuck does a city go missing?
But it's worldwide.
I mean, not talking buildings and cars and stuff. I'm talking about people, and I know people move around and are homeless, and they just don't want to be found. But that is a
you could knock
staggering
about
number.
50% off that, and then you've still got 50% there. Let's say 1% for like crime,
Murders and stuff like that, yeah.
and manslaughters and accidentals and stuff.
Accidental deaths, yeah.
But then you still got a massive proportion there. And
Yeah.
then think about it, if in the adult way, 8 out of every 10 have got a mental
Mental
problem.
health issues,
Then like, you know what I mean? Then you've got 2% there that are like supposed to be compass mentis,
Yeah.
and they're still missing. So like it's
I
mad.
can understand that if they're the numbers that we're talking about that are going missing. Then these charities and these like kind of like services that help missing people, you know, and help the families of missing people are probably stretched.
To the limits.
They've got to kind of look into what cases they've got a chance of finding the person.
Yeah,
And like you say, if you don't want to be found, then
well, this is it. I mean, one adult in every 500 go missing.
Yeah,
one adult in every 500. So if you've got 500 mates, one of them are going to go missing.
That's amazing.
It is.
I always won't figure when they say stats and they say 1 in 5 people, and I'm always sat with a few people when they say. So I'm thinking one of us are gonna go missing.
Damn, which one? Alright, I'm gonna make sure it's in, not me. Done. Then you're looking at over each other's back like that. Yeah, I never used to be.
Yeah, that's the reason.
My mate.
That's the reason why. Because it's like
he's my friend of me.
It's you or me, mate. It's
you know what I mean? It's like,
So basically that's the end of the topic, the subject tonight of Richey Edwards of the Manic Street Preachers. I hope you enjoyed it.
One.
It was interesting. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
What we're saying is getting into the mysteries, and then as the weeks go on in October, we're going to get a bit spooky.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we're going to get a bit kind of like. So it's like I kind of wanted to take it off the NASA stuff because we've been doing a lot of space stories. Been doing a lot of kind of conspiracy theories.
We are named after him.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, and I'll always do a NASA story in every episode, aim to. So it's like, you know, but yeah, I thought it was an interesting case. It was something that I always thought about, and I'm glad I did because it's filled in some of the gaps in my knowledge about what happened to the guy.
Well, I heard about it. I remember hearing about it, but to be honest, I didn't take that much notice, to be honest, because it was another missing person to me.
Yeah.
You know,
it was the fact that he was a bit more well known, wasn't it, that kind of made a bit more.
Yeah, but not to me. I knew the band was abandoned, like you said, he was behind the back.
There's been probably more documentaries on Madeleine McCann since she disappeared than Richey Edwards. So but again, that's down to the fact that she's a child.
Yes.
And it happened abroad, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he's suspected there's a bit more to it, isn't there, than just a
lot
guy
more to it.
who wanted to Reginald Perrin, or you know, was a bit down. So you know.
Yeah. Well, like on that whole, we hope to know, but the chances are to finding out now are slim.
Well.
Slimmer and slimmer every second of the day.
Well, if you're wherever you are, Mr. Edwards, I love it. A big fan of your work. I've had to I've been listening to loads of stuff.
You are keeping right on it.
Oh, mate, yeah, I have actually really. I've been learning a few tunes on the guitar as well. It's been good.
Really into. I don't mind some of their music, but I'm not banging to.
Couple of good tunes. I'll recommend you a couple of good tunes. I'll recommend you the two.
You don't need to. I know which ones.
3 best albums. Yeah, right. Gold Against the Soul,
Right.
Generation Terrorist.
Right, yeah, I know about that one.
The Holy Bible.
The Holy Bible?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Now, the third one, Holy Bible, is... Now, in the first 2 albums, James Dean Bradfield and Richey co-wrote. Nicky Wire wrote a bit, Holy Bible, 100% Richey's lyrics, and it's one of those albums that'll go down in history as one of those the darkest.
Yeah, but that'd be like Tubular Bells, and I never like that.
One of the darkest. It's up there with Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division.
I suppose it's starting to taste. I might hear it, I might not.
In terms of melancholy, sort of macabre, sort of lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go those 3 albums. Anything after that, Design for Life. Oh, pushing it. Got a couple of good tunes on it.
I didn't mind that actually.
Well, that's when they went mainstream.
Yeah, I didn't mind them mainstream, to be honest.
When they were a
Beforehand,
three-piece.
wasn't really bothered about them, you know what I mean? It was like, well...
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't that bothered with
Well,
I had friends who were into him. I've seen him live.
Tonight.
I have seen him live, stood at Glastonbury in the mud, watched him live.
I won't go that far.
Now, I was with someone, so like it was nice at the time, yeah. I went to see him. Right. And then but but it was the mystery of the story that interested me more.
Yeah. I must admit, when the story come up about it, I did.
It made you
take
notice.
I did make a little notice.
Exactly. So in that respect, they drew it.
It did draw me in a little bit.
They did go mainstream just after that as well.
Yes, they did.
They've got all that media attention, and like
exactly.
you say, no publicity is bad publicity.
Well, that's it. That's it.
Right, we'll end the show stuff. If you'd like to get in touch with us at Never a Straight Answer, you can reach out to us on Twitter at NASA_never. You can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. Or we can get us on Instagram now. Yeah. Fine. So we've been getting told we had to go on Instagram all the time. Yeah. Right. Instagram. So we're on the Instagram now, and you can find us at Never Straight Answer on Instagram. Yeah. You can DM us on Twitter or Instagram there as well. You can find us on all the podcast platforms: Anchor FM, Spotify, iTunes. All them stuff. Now I want to get on, right? I need to email them and find out how to go about this. But TuneIn Radio, have you seen that? You can get the app for the Xbox. Okay, and they do podcasts. So like, I want to get on there by next week as well. Okay. So because I've been having a lot of people say, "Can I listen on my Xbox?" And I've had no kind of way of telling.
That'd be pretty cool, that, wouldn't it? Yeah, you know, you doing something like that. Yeah. Well, Sicilians are talking about.
Yeah, come on, guys, shut up! I'm trying to play Call of Duty.
That Jay opens his mouth far too much.
Have you got any shout-outs?
Have I got any shout-outs? I haven't, to be honest.
Have you not? No one loved you this week?
No one's been talking to me because I've been ill, that's why.
Yeah, same here. I've only had a couple.
I've got to stay away from the lady.
I've got to give a shout-out to Ellie. Yeah,
Ellie?
My niece Ellie. Right,
hello,
because
Ellie.
My brother was basically listening into the podcast and... apparently Ellie's been like, hey, he's doing alright, isn't he? She's only like 9.
He is, he's not doing too bad, girl. He ain't doing too bad.
Big shout out to Ellie and Argyle.
Yeah.
Also, Mr. Holiday, Chris Holiday, made me laugh the other day. He's got a tweet there through, and it was, it just went #spunked.
Yeah, you love the spunks,
we've had a couple of hashtags spunks. I was trying to get it trending, boys. Like, we've had, I think, 2 or 3, which is still more than I expected, to be honest. So well done, Mr. Holiday, for that. I've got a podcast of the week as well. Like, because I get a lot of podcast people on Twitter. We're on there peddling our wares. So they're all on there peddling theirs as well.
Pedal away.
I'm going to just little drop. They don't know I'm doing it, but the Geekdom Fancast, which is a bit of a geeky podcast for movie stuff and geeky stuff, I suppose.
Oh, see.
Yeah. Like, been checking out.
A couple of lads.
Yeah, a couple of lads. I think they're from the States, but yeah, check them out. They're on Twitter.
I'll give them.
They've been retweeting.
Give them a wave.
And that's all really. We've just got the build up for the spooky Halloween. Now, I've got an I really want.
I know what
what I really want for this next episode.
Him.
You've talked to the guy and make this happen. Because if we can
get
this,
we're going to do it.
Yeah.
No, I mean where we're going to do the second part.
Yeah. He already thinks this place is
okay. All right, then.
So,
right.
If you've been listening, and
Mad Mike can't come in to see you, boy.
Mad Mike, he's convinced the bunker here at Never a Straight Answer is haunted. Yeah. And we'll just leave you with that. We've got some plans, and if we can pull it off, then it'll be a great episode. So we're gonna try that. It won't be next week. It'll be more towards Halloween, which I think falls midweek. So I don't know what we were gonna do there, because like we might have to do a flip reverse and do our half mini episode at the beginning of the week and our Halloween one midweek.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll still get two out in a week, but the shorter one will come first. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
We'll sort something out.
Yeah, we've got a few more episodes before then anyway. So yeah, that's basically it for this week. I hope you've been able to put up with my raspy voice. And
sorry about the timing, the delay.
Yeah,
but,
we'll be back on it now.
Yeah.
So
we try our best.
Yeah, and I think we've
We're
done
only a couple of blokes.
I think we've done it quite well tonight, considering we've both been on death's door this week.
Jesus,
so we appreciate you sticking along with us to the end.
Yeah.
And for those who actually listen to the end, let me tell you a secret. Yeah, you'd only know this if you stay till the end. I love you. That's pretty much
What's
it.
that you're saying over there?
That's pretty much it for me. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
And that's it for this week's episode of Never a Straight Answer. And we'll see you next time.
You will.
Peace.
Out.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.